Hello K-Divas, and welcome back to another video. In this particular one, I'm going to be sharing how I adapted this normal dress with a regular bodice to have accessibility for me to feed my baby. Now, I just had a baby and she's exclusively breastfed, which means she doesn't care where we are. She wants her milk when she wants her milk. So I'm going to be sharing this quick zip hack that allowed me to change up this dress to allow me to open it up and breastfeed my baby when the need arises. If you'd like to find out how I did this, make sure to keep on watching. This is a dress I'm going to be working on. This is a dress I made about a year ago. It has a waist and a neck dart, which made it the perfect template to make this change on. You could make this a quick hack on any top or bodice that you have. Just ensure that it's not too tight because you'll be losing some of the measurements when you add the zip. I'm going to be attaching the link for this tutorial for anyone who wants to check it out. So you see how I made the dress from scratch, and it's a pattern from Dovetailed London. Now you're going to be needing 2 zips. I ended up getting 2 9-inch zips and bias tape just to finish the edge. The first thing I'm doing here is I'm just pinning the bodice, the area where I'm going to be adding the zip. This dress is lined, so I want to ensure that the front and the lining they match in a way that makes sense. Now I'm measuring my zip so I know how long I have to cut my opening, and I'm going to be measuring and marking my bust point. Mine is around 10 inches that I'm going to be marking on the bodice of the dress. I'm just using a pin to mark the point like so. You can also use a chalk, and then I want my opening to be 7 inches, so I'm marking 3.5 inches from that bust point above and below, so I know the entire width is 7 inches. This is where I'm going to be putting the zip, where I have the ability to zip it open and allow me breastfeed my baby. Now I'm adding pins along that point there, so I know this is the area that I'm going to be making my change. I'm just checking that my zip fits and it's looking good so far. Now I'm going to be drawing a chalk that connects the top to the bottom edge. The chalk will just make things clearer for me. It's print, so it's a little bit hard to see exactly what I'm doing, but if this is a plain fabric, it's really a little bit easier. So with the chalk mark in there, I know this is where I'm going to be stitching around, because once I have that stitched, I know I can go in and cut between the stitches. Now I'm stitching in such a way that I'm stitching away from the chalk line by about ½ centimeter, and then when I make my way to the top of that marked point, I'm going to leave my needle in and turn and start stitching around the other side. It allows me to secure both layers of my dress, and I can clearly see where I want my zip to sit. And I'm going to take a scissors and I'm going to be cutting along the chalk line that I drew, leaving the stitches on both sides of the chalk line. So I kind of stitch like an oval shape because I want to cut that section in the middle open like so. So when you stitch, you would want to stitch a little bit over and a little bit under the chalk line, because the chalk line I'm going to be cutting open, and that is where I'm going to be fixing my zip. Now you have the option of going in with a zigzag stitch, a bias tape, or overlock to finish this edge so everything is nice and tidy, but I'm just going to leave it like this for now. It's up to you to make that change if you want an even better finish on the inside. I'm going to grab my zip and I'm going to do something that would allow it to be truly invisible. Now I'm going to roll it open like this and then iron it really flat. I saw this hack on Instagram. I wish I could remember the creator's name, but essentially she just rolled out the zip tape like this and ironed the teeth flat, because that would allow me to stitch very close to the zip teeth, which would make the zip really invisible once I zip it up after joining it to the dress. Now I'm pinning it up in such a way that the bottom edge where the zip teeth is on the lower side of the bust, and I'm leaving a little bit so I'm able to pull up the zip once I'm done stitching. Then I'm pinning the other side like so, and I'm going to take this to my machine and stitch it up. I just pinned the other side of the bust, so I have both zips pinned in place ready to be stitched together. I'm going to show you a close-up of how far in I pinned the zip. I didn't pin it all the way because the bust or the chest area is already quite tight on this dress, so I don't want to lose too much measurement. Ensure you're using an invisible zip foot, because that would ensure that you're able to stitch really close to the zip teeth when you are joining that zip to your dress. I have a separate video where I showed where I got this foot from and how it performs, and another tutorial showing how to attach invisible zips. Both I'm going to link in the video description down below, so please check that out for more clarity. Now I'm just sewing in the zip and I'm stitching as close as possible to the zip teeth, and when I get to the edge, I try to sew just a little bit beyond the opening so the zip kind of disappears into the wrong edge of the fabric and I don't see anything showing on the right side of the fabric. I will say it is worth sewing as slow as possible and sew as close as possible to the open edges so you don't have any seams or any raw edges showing on the right side of your dress. After that, I gave my piece a press on both sides and just checked that I was happy with the outcome, and it's looking good so far. If you want to cut your opening a little bit wider, just ensure that your zip is a little bit wider as well. You could also have this opening just a little bit towards the side seam. I just kept mine there because there was already that neck and waist start, so it just made sense to just follow that seam, but you can shift yours to the side. You could also add this as a detail when you're making your pattern or making your garment from scratch, so you just incorporate a seam on that side of your garment and you add a zip there. That would give you instant accessibility if you're a breastfeeding mom or if your client is a breastfeeding mom. But I hope you guys enjoyed this quick hack. I just thought to share because this is something that I thought would be useful for someone who is currently breastfeeding your child or has plans to, and you want to change up your clothes to give you more accessibility when you're out and about, so you don't have to always pull your entire dress or pull your entire top if you have to breastfeed your child. But if you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up. Leave any further ideas or video suggestions in the comment section down below, and until my next one, have a good morning, afternoon and evening wherever you are. Bye.